There's a predator on the loose, and it's been attacking my community for over 400 years now. See, the world knows all about this predator, but yet does nothing to stop it from taking the lives of my loved ones. Who is this predator, you ask? See, I don't know a physical description or could give you a face exactly of who this predator is. All I can say is he's in your face as plain as day. The predator has his poison in the veins of my people. It's the little girl that you see walking with the heavy clothes on to the store or to the bus stop with their head always down, or the man standing by the store, opening the door asking you for change. Or when you're hanging out with your friends and your one friend that's usually all reserved and everything, they're extra partying tonight. See that predator that's in your face, that's ravaging my community? It's slick. It's slick because it comes with an ancient history of terror that evokes trauma. It's post-traumatic slave syndrome from being stripped of everything. So that man that you see standing by the store, he's just a remnant of my ancestors in chains, begging for change. And that little girl, she's just a walking form of what it looks like to feel like you have no love. See that predator that's in your face? Everybody has a story with this predator, and its claws dig deep. So deep that it comes disguised as the apocalypse, and it comes in many forms. Who is this predator again, you ask me? Well, this predator is called depression. It's surprising that my community has still been in denial that this predator even exists. It's been taking lives of our young men and women onto the streets by law enforcement because they don't recognize a person of color who is having a mental breakdown or suffering a crisis. Being vulnerable is a sign of threat to law enforcement. Over 400 years of concentration and oppression with no signs of seeming that it will let up. How does one cope with this? See, that predator that I call depression is vicious. It comes from a vicious family, a family that falls under mental illness. But why do I call it a predator? Well, let's define the characteristics of a predator. See, a predator comes and preys on the weak, the meek, the lonely-hearted. That predator, it disguises itself, sometimes disguising itself as a whispering voice, telling you you're not good enough. You're not good enough to live. See, I know all too well about this predator because I was once a victim. I was once the victim of this predator through a form of postpartum depression. It was 14 years ago that I learned that this predator has been encrypted through my blood, through my DNA, through ancestral traits of oppression and loneliness, and stripped away from all things that mattered. See, mental illness that I call a predator, it's made its way through my life, through my family. My mother has been living with this predator through the forms of fear and anger, not knowing how to recognize this. My father has masked this predator with drugs just to overcome the oppression of things that happened to him being a black man in America. Predators are unacknowledged and untreated. So what do? Will you allow a predator to come into your home and ravage your community and ravage your children? No. Clearly your answer would be no. So what do? We should come together as a community, heal each other, heal our families, and acknowledge how this predator got in. Healing is the only way. Mario Woods, Pamela Turner, Anthony Hill, Daniel Corday. These are people who have lost their lives by law enforcement because they don't recognize a person of color having a crisis. Thank you.